have been covering that. Brings us closer to Oklahoma City. In fact, it's in Oklahoma City. You're taking a live look from Bob Mills Sky News 9 near Northeast 63rd and Sooner. And here, Jim, a house on fire.
Well, that's right, Amanda. This is a rock house. It looks like it may have had a second story added to it. It is fully engulfed in flames. The fire department just now got on scene. Now, this is going to be north of Sooner, about 3 or 4 blocks, and just on the west side of, north of 63rd, and just on the west side of Sooner there. And you can see Sooner at the top of your screen. Like I said, it is fully engulfed in flames. The good thing is, Amanda, the fire department, I just heard say everybody is out of the home at this time. But right now, they still have, if you see the power lines to the side with the transformer there, it has been arcing really bad there. So they have live electricity still going there. So the firefighters got to be really careful, because those have been arcing and spraying sparks everywhere. We might get a grass fire started from that going to the northeast here. So we got to be careful about that. But again, you can see this home that is pretty much engulfed in flames on the second story there. Like I said, the fire department just arrived on scene. The good thing is, though, is that everybody is out of the house. We'll keep you updated. Jim Garpoint live for Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
Jim, a lot of times when we cover fires in this area, they have issues with trying to get water out to these homes to get the fires out. Any hydrants in the area? Are you watching them bring in their tanker trucks to try to get some water?
Well, right now we're looking. I believe they're going to have to bring in tankers. They got a tanker in. They got some ladder trucks that just pulled up. They got several fire engines here. Of course, now you can see that the roof is kind of caved in there, so that's even got more air to the fire, and it is really rolling now. But they're starting to put water on it. But they got looks like they got about 3 or 4 fire engines, and then a big ladder truck, and then they brought in some tankers here, so which indicates that there are no hydrants out in this area, which is really bad, because once you run out of water, you run out of water, and there's really nothing you can do. And like I said, there's an open field to the north of that home, and with this fire the way it's going right now, we hope no embers go to the north and start this field on fire, because we still have winds gusting close to 30 miles an hour here, Amanda. And like I said, the firefighters just arrived on scene. They're starting to put water on it, but that home is pretty much fully engulfed in flames there through the attic and on that second story. So this is going to be a tough fight for a while. They're just going to have to make sure that it doesn't spread to that field or any other surroundings. Like I said, there was live power to that home. We got some footage we can show later of all the sparks flying from the power lines there. Hopefully that transformer won't explode. So again, the firefighters got to be careful there. But again, this home is set just on the west side of Sooner, about I would say a quarter mile north of 63rd here. And firefighters got a fight on their hands, Amanda. Jim Garpoint live for Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
That fire is raging. Jim Gardner reporting from the air, again near 63rd, Northeast 63rd and Sooner. This is on Sooner, just west of Sooner Road, right there, north of Northeast 63rd. If you have land in the area, you live in that area, you're obviously maybe seeing that black smoke. Jim was mentioning gusts 30 miles per hour. The winds, just checking on Mesonet, they're going southwest at 13 miles per hour right now. That's what the current wind condition is. It has come down since this morning, which is good, but you can see this fire is raging. Just getting word, too, from the fire department that this fire has gone defensive. Basically, firefighters are just trying to get the fire out at this point. We heard earlier from Jim that nobody is inside. They have confirmation of that, so that is the good news, that if anybody was inside when this started, they got out, or nobody was in there to begin with. Jim, does it look like the fire, from our vantage point, it looks like the fire just started right at this house, not at a nearby trash pile. Do you see anything else around there?
No, that's right, Amanda. The fire did start and when we arrived on scene, it looked like it may have started in the second story there, the wooden part of the house there that's facing to the south. That looks like where it may have started. And of course, it quickly moved through the attic and into the roof there, and like part of the roof collapsed. That's when we got that real big bellow of black smoke coming out. That's when the roof finally collapsed on that one end. But again, it didn't start around the house. Looks like it started in the house. And, you brought up the Mesonet there with winds showing 13. The Mesonet shows steady state winds around 13 right now. I've talked to Will Rogers at World Airport. It is about 13 to 15, but it is gusting close to 30. And those gusts is what's really bad, Amanda. It's the steady state wind, that's one thing, but when you start getting gusts up that high, that makes it real difficult here. So, but we're just hoping that no embers fly and start any of these fields on fire. They're getting more and more firefighters out here. They have, if we look at the road there, Rich, you can see how many fire engines have arrived on scene, along with tankers. That one truck that you see, the silver, that's a tanker sitting right there with extra water. So they got several trucks out here. They're starting to bring in some brush pumpers just for that reason, to get stationed around, just so none of this tall grass, because there is some tall grass to the east here that could ignite. So they want to watch that very carefully. And most of the homes in this area, Amanda, are all wood frame homes. So we got to be really careful here. But right now, firefighters are getting water on it. We'll keep you updated. Jim Gardner reporting live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
Yeah, it's good to see that they're able to bring out the tanker truck so quickly, at least to try to stop this from spreading. But the home at this point looks like a big loss, if not a total loss, right now with the fire, as firefighters are just trying to get the fire out and to stop it from spreading. Jim, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up, I saw a doghouse out there. We know nobody was in the house. Have you heard anything about any animals out there?
I haven't ever heard any reports about animals right now, Amanda. Like I said, and we haven't seen any. So hopefully everybody's, including the animals, are okay here. The fire is pretty much contained just to the house. I mean, that's it's sad for the homeowners. I mean, they're going to lose their home, but you know, as long as everybody's out alive and the animals are okay, you know, that's one thing. You know, you replace material things here, but right now the firefighters, you can see the roof is almost all gone here, and they are getting water on it, Amanda. But like I said, it's just defensive. They're just trying to keep it from spreading. And you know, you can see that tall grass to the north there would be the left side of the screen, and that field right there, which is pretty short grass. But if it gets off in that field, it'll move very quickly here across the way. And then there are fields out here, Amanda, on the other side of the road that have a lot of cedar trees in it. And the last thing we want that to do is that to move through that field and catch those cedar trees on fire, because it is dry, and that could become a real big problem here for firefighters. But right now they're doing a great job just containing it to the house there, Amanda.
Absolutely right. The oil in the cedar trees, they ignite so fast and so hot. It is hard to get those under control once those start. Firefighters putting water on it from all angles. Jim, any other structures out there? Because this is a concern if you have property near the place. Can you give us maybe a wider view just so we can get an idea of what else is out there?
Well, right now, Amanda, just across the street there's a church. A church right across the street, and there's a home right there that is a wood frame home. And you know, they got a lot of grass right there to the west of them, which would be to the left of the screen. So that's why I was talking about it. You can see the smoke traveling. It's traveling. The wind is out of the southwest, pushing it to the northeast. So it's pushing it right towards that church and that home there. You just hope there's no embers that fly across there and ignite that field. Now, I did see some brush pumpers going down that street and getting positioned just for that reason, that they would be able to jump on it pretty fast if it did start a grass fire. But again, like I said, they're getting more water on this house right now. You can see the smoke starting to change a little bit from dark, black to dark to gray to some white on this end right here. So they are getting water on it. Hopefully they'll get this under control. I think, if nobody runs out of water, Amanda, they should be able to keep this under control. The bad thing is we're out here with no hydrants, and once you run out of water, you got to wait for somebody to resupply you, and that takes time, and that lets the fire build back up. And you can see how fast it is. Just when he stops spraying his water on there, you can see how fast the flames jump back up on that roof. So again, they're just fighting a defensive fire here, Amanda, just trying to keep this from spreading.
And it looks like, too, the firefighters are all the way around it just to make sure an ember doesn't jump.
I'm sorry, Amanda, say again.
Oh, I was just saying, it looks like firefighters are all around this home. So it looks like they're keeping a very close eye on things to make sure the fire doesn't jump.
They are, Amanda. They're all around the house, and they're on the road. And like I said, they brought brush pumpers in to be able to get into those fields quickly and stuff if it jumps across and starts some of this grass on fire. In fact, you can see a brush pumper moving. If you tilt down just a little bit, Rich, you can see a brush pumper pulling in to where that church is right now. And basically that's a good strategy. That's just getting everything in place and just being preventative here. If something does jump across there and starts this grass on fire, it's going to move very fast. And last thing they want it to do is lose it as it goes to that field, because if you look back, pull back, and look to the left just a little bit, that is all cedar trees sitting right there with cedar trees with tall grass. Now, I can tell you, Amanda, there's a home at the northeast end of it. If it gets in that right there, there's going to be no way of stopping it, because that's going to go really fast and embers are going to start going everywhere. So that's the last thing they want to happen. As we come back to the house, you can see they're starting starting to get it knocked down just a little bit, but I think that's more attrition than anything. It's just burn up everything in the top story that it can really burn up, Amanda. But they're going to have to keep putting water on it, keep watching it, make sure nothing catches the grass on fire. And like I said, the good thing is that the family is out of the house. They are okay, and right now we have no reports of any animals, or we haven't seen any animals on the ground. But you know, we'll stay here and watch it and keep you updated, Amanda.
Yeah, we definitely want to make sure it doesn't jump the road and go toward that church either. I know the firefighters are set up there. Jim, these firefighters, they are heroes. They not only have to deal with the fire and the smoke, the danger of the heat, but also the electricity. You were mentioning earlier about how there were some live lines right near this house. You got video shortly before we went on the air. I think we have that ready. Okay, this is video taken just about 10 minutes ago. Look at that, taken about 10 minutes ago, and the live electricity right there. So firefighters, as they're getting to the scene, they're having to deal with that just to make sure that that doesn't fall, maybe start a fire as well. Jim, you saw that right when you came up to the scene.
Well, that's right, Amanda. When we got to the scene, it was arcing pretty bad there, you know, and like I said, they got to get that taken care of. Even spraying water on that, you know, firefighters got you know, he could get shocked or electrocuted, you know, from spraying water on a live line like that. So they got to be very careful. You know, we was worried about the transformer. That pole has a transformer on it, you know, and last thing we want to do was for that transformer to explode there. That sends sparks everywhere, and that will start a grass fire. So, but you know, right now the firefighters, like you said, they're doing a great job here. They got all the assets stationed in the right place. They are starting to get a handle on this. It's starting, you know, you don't see near as much flame, near as much black smoke. So I think they got this contained, and you know, get out of here without anything jumping the road, and really getting into a crisis here with these cedar trees. Because you know, we can ask David. You know, it's been dry for a long time, and that oil and the cedar trees are dry, and that oil, it would just be almost impossible if it got in that field, Amanda, to stop it. And I can feel up here the winds are even coming down while I'm speaking, so that's a good thing. As long as we can keep this wind coming down, that's going to help the firefighters, Amanda. Jim Gar reporting live for Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
Jim, great work up there, and that's why we're on the air, is just to make sure that everybody stays safe and to give everybody a view of what's going on in the city and around the city and our community. If people aren't at home at the time and they see smoke or they're worried about it, we want to let people know what's going on. So it does look like right now that this fire is contained to this home. They were fighting it defensively. Again, if you're just joining us, this was out near Northeast 63rd, north of Northeast 63rd and Sooner, where the fire's been contained to this house. We were concerned because there's a church nearby where it's blowing toward it, but it looks like right now they have it under control. Let me tell you, if anything changes with that, if it jumps the road, if it gets in the field, gets in the cedar trees, we'll break in. We'll let you know right here on News 9. And also, we're still keeping an eye and an ear on what's going on in Mustang with the grass fire out there near Southwest 59th and County Line Road. The fire out there got very close to people's homes, but they did stop it before it reached people's homes out there. So nothing new out there in Mustang, and this is the final look right here in Oklahoma City. We'll be talking to our chief meteorologist, David Payne, at the top of our 4 o'clock newscast to talk about the fire danger and if any relief is on the way. So keep it right here on News 9 and on news9.com.